spicy over in the League One playoff race, that's right, with juggernauts Charlton and Huddersfield still in the mixer, but who, of course, will join them in the top six at the end of this weekend. We're going to take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match number 39, of course, over in League One, and we'll get to it in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe button, one-stop shop for League One, Babin Rovers, World Football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right, Birmingham, of course, look destined to be championship bound very, very soon. I don't even know. Get your calculators out. It could even be this match day. I don't even know. But of course, the main question is who will join them in the championship next season? Will it be Wrexham? Will it be Wycombe? Can Charlton make a late surge? We'll have a look at all that and more in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. And again, make sure you subscribe. Your one-stop shop for League One is here. Of course, let's bring you back up to date though with, of course, the games that did take place this past weekend. Of course, it was a minimalistic one with a lot of games postponed for international duty. But these are those. And they should be on the screen right about now. Not many. There's 6 games, I believe. Starting with Barnsley. 1-1 draw against Cambridge. Big point for Cambridge. Can they do the great escape? Meanwhile, Crawley with a 1-win over Bristol Rovers. Crawley look, again, managerless at the moment. They may or may not have just appointed a new fella, I'm not too sure. Lincoln City with a 0-0 draw against Exeter City. Blackpool with an important 2-0 win over Lincoln City. Is it too late for Blackpool to make a surge? Who knows? Peterborough, though, massive win for them. 3-0 win over Charlton, and Wrexham with that massive, crucial, important, best result for them. 1-0 win over Stockport County, of course, which sets up the table. And we'll have a look at that in just a second here. I get it on the screen. Goodness gracious me. So the table looks like this, my friends. It is Birmingham currently, and they're going back. Unfortunately, we gotta admit it. Birmingham are going back. Wrexham could join them. They are 3 points difference between themselves and Wycombe. We do have a game in hand, of course. Charlton, though, they might put on a late surge. What are we looking at here? 6, 8 games remaining, something like that, depending on 8, 9 games remaining. Huddersfield Town, of course, also looking to surge up the table. It is going to be absolutely crazy finish to this table. Meanwhile, going down, it does still look like it is as you expect. Shrewsbury, Cambridge, Crawley, and Burton, but do have a game in hand to close in on the likes of Bristol Rovers or Northampton Town. It is all madness. Speaking of madness, so is the prediction league. Keep doing your thing, guys. I did say I'll be back, but I need one more week, one more weekend, because it's just been helter-skelter at the moment. So should get time this week to get your numbers up there. Anyway, these are the next round of games, of course, and they're coming at you starting on Thursday, the 27th of March. It is Leyton Orient up against Stevenage at Brisbane Road. Let's get into it. Richie Wellens' boys are 9th in the table, 56 points for the season, just 1 win in the last 6, and the previous 5, though, have been defeats up against Stevenage and Alex Revel. They are 13th in the table, 49 points for the season. They're on 50% form for them right now. That's just 1 win, though, in the last 6. They played the Orient 24 times since 2011, 10 wins. Orient 6 wins. Stevenage has been 8 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at Brisbane Road in the league, it was a 3-0 win for Stevenage back in September 2023. The reverse fixture, a 0-0 draw at Stevenage back in November 2024. They also played each other at the EFL Trophy knockouts at Brisbane Road. This campaign back in January was a 1-0 win for Stevenage. Stevenage on the back of that 1-1 draw against Reading. The Orient back to winning ways with a 2-1 win over Blackpool. That's back in the 15th, though, of March. The odds here, they'll give it to Leyton Orient. They're fancied by the bookies. I'm going with a 2-0 win as well, but I think their playoff dreams are over as of right now, unless something crazy goes on. Charlton against Huddersfield. This is a ding-dong classic, of course, coming at you over at the Valley. Charlton under Nathan Jones are 4th in the table, 66 points for the season. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. That 1 defeat was the last game. Meanwhile, Huddersfield under John Worthington for the time being. They're look out for the manager. They've won twice in the last 4. They're 6th in the table, 61 points for the season. They played Charlton 28 times since 1995. 10 wins Charlton, 13 wins Huddersfield. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Last time around at the Valley, it was a 1-0 win for Huddersfield back in December 2019. Huddersfield have actually won 5 on the spin against Charlton and only conceded 1 goal in the last 4. Still coming into this on the back of that 5-1 win over Crawley. Charlton, of course, losing to Peterborough most recently on this last weekend's action. The bookies, though, will give it to Charlton. They're fancy for the victory. I'm going with the 1-1 draw for me on this 1 point split right down the middle. Stockport County, though, they're taking on Burton now, been over at Edgeley Park. Stockport under David Shannon are 5th right now, 65 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Burton, though, under Gary Bowyer, 58% form for them, just 1 win win in the last 4, bit of a bump in the road for them, still 21st, still in the drop zone, with Stockport still flying high in 5th. They played 3 times to 2010, 1 win apiece and 1 draw. Last time around over at Stockport was a 0-0 draw way back in March 2011. The reverse fixture at the Pirelli, 3-0 win as it was for Stockport way back in November. Stockport, though, losing to Wrexham most recently. It's been very much hit and miss for them. 1-1 loss, 1 draw, 1 over the last 3. Burton, though, picking up an important 2-0 win over Shrewsbury most recently. The odds right here, right now, Stockport are fancied for the victory here. I would love to give Burton something out of this, but I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for the hosts on this one. Next up, we're going to champions elect. It is Birmingham up against relegation elect. That is Shrewsbury coming at you over at Birmingham. Chris Davies' boys are tip at the top of the table. Just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against Shrewsbury, and the Gareth Ainsworth, who are winless in the last 8. In fact, 5 defeats in that last 6. And of course, rock bottom at the moment. 7 times they have played since 2006. 4 wins Birmingham, 3 wins Shrewsbury. No draws at the moment. Last time around over at St Andrews. You have to roll back the years, guys, all the way back to August 2006. It was a 1-0 win for Birmingham. It was in the EFL Cup. Reverse fixture, a 3-2 win for Shrewsbury at Shrewsbury way back in November. I think that was Gareth Ainsworth's first match in charge. Shrewsbury, though, losing to Burton most recently. They haven't scored a goal in the last 3. Birmingham on the back of that 1-1 draw against Northampton Town. The odds right here, right now, of course, Birmingham massively fancied. They should win this one. It's at home. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win as well. Let's go to Blackpool. Oh, what a spicy game this is. It's Blackpool. It is Bolton. And it's coming to you over at Bloomfield Road. Stevie Bruce's boys are 10th. 54 points for the season. Just 1 defeat in the last 5 up against Bolton under Stephen Schumacher, who've lost back-to-back games. They sit 7th with 60 points and have played Blackpool 17 times since 2010. It's been 5 wins apiece and 7 draws between the two sides. Blackpool, though, winning the last one at this very venue, 4-1 when it was back in February 2024. The reverse fixture at Bolton was a 2-1 win for Bolton back in November. Bolton, though, on the back of that 1-0 loss to Stockport. Blackpool with a 2-0 win over Northampton Town. Quite tight on the bookies' odds on this one. Could go either way, bit of a coin flip. I'm going to go with Blackpool on this one. 2-1 win for Stevie Bruce's boys. Bristol Rovers up against Mansfield. That's coming at you over at the Memorial Stadium. That's right, Memorial Field. Ignil Calderon's boys are on 20th in the table, 42 points for the season on back-to-back defeats. Up against Mansfield, of course, Nigel Clough, 17th in the table, just 1 win in the last 6 there, all the way down with 44 points. They played Bristol Rovers 15 times in 2003, 7 wins. Hosts, 3 wins Mansfield, 5 draws between the two sides. Last time around at this very venue, it was a 0-0 draw way back in February 2022. The reverse fixture, a 1-0 win for Bristol Rovers at Mansfield back in November. Bristol Rovers losing last couple of games here, back-to-back home away losses there without a goal as well. Mansfield, though, picking up a 2-1 win over Barnsley last match for them as well. Meanwhile, the odds is quite tight, but Mansfield fancied for the victory here. I'm going with a 1-1 draw, point apiece, right down the middle. Let's get into the next one. It's Cambridge. Northampton Town coming to at Cambridge. Neil Harris's boys are 23rd in the table. They look destined for relegation. They're just 30 points for the campaign. Up against Northampton Town under Kevin Nolan, they're down in the 19th, 42 points for the season, and they've got 1 win in the last 6 matches. 25 times they've played these two sides since 2002. 10 wins Cambridge, 7 wins for Northampton Town, and there's been 8 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at Cambridge, it was a 1-1 draw way back in March 2024. The reverse fixture, also a 0-0 draw back in November. So back-to-back draws in these matches, both home and away. Speaking of draws, Cambridge on the back of that 1-1 draw against Barnsley. Northampton Town losing to Blackpool with the last victory being the last time they were on the road, which was a 2-1 win against the Orient. The odds right here, right now, Cambridge fancied, but only just. It could go either way. I'm going with a 1-0 win. Neil Harris's boys against the struggling Northampton Town. Let's get into the next one. It's Exeter City up against Wrexham, coming at you over in Exeter. Gary Caldwell's boys are unbeaten in the last 6 matches. They're 16th right now, 45 points for the season. They've won twice the last 6. Up against Wrexham under Phil Parkinson, who are 2nd. 4 wins of the last 5. They're unbeaten. Oh, they're not unbeaten. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. 2 times they've played these two sides in 2003. 1 win apiece and no draws. Last time they played at Exeter, it was a 1-0 win for Exeter way back in March 2003. That was in League 2. The reverse fixture at Wrexham in Wales was a 3-0 win for Wrexham back in November. Hollywood FC or Deadpool FC 1-0 winners over Stockport most recently, back-to-back clean sheets. In fact, they've got 2 clean sheets on the spin. Exeter on the back of successive draws. Both of those games were at home or on the road. Last home match, they got a 2-0 win. In fact, they haven't conceded a goal in back-to-back games at home either. The odds right here, right now, what are we looking at? We are looking at a tight one here. Wrexham fancy with the bookies. I'm going with a 2-1 win for Exeter. I think they're good at home right now, and I think Wrexham might take a bit of a stump in their automatic promotion chase. Let's get into the next one. It's Reading. It is Peterborough coming out at the Matchday. That's right, Reading under Noel Hunt. Still in the mixer here, 8th in the table, 59 points for the season. They've drawn 4 of the last 6, but unbeaten in at least the last 10 matches. Peterborough, though, under Darren Ferguson, 83% form for them right now. They're unbeaten in the last 8. So two sides who are trying to save their seasons here. Reading, of course, on 8th, with Peterborough down into 15th. They played 11 times, 2009, 5 wins Reading, 4 wins Peterborough, 2 draws between the two sides. Last time they played at the Matchday, it was a 1-0 win for Peterborough way back in August 2023. The reverse fixture this campaign, 2-1 winner was for Reading back in November. Peterborough on the back of successive wins, successive clean sheets up against Reading, who haven't lost in a long time, but they've drawn quite a few games in the process. The odds right here right now, again, tight one, very tight. I'm going with the draw as well, 1-1 right down the middle. Final 3 here, we got Rotherham up against Crawley coming out to the New York Stadium. Steve Evans' boys are 14th, but are a write-off this season, 3 matches without a win. Up against Crawley under Scott Lindsay is confirmed he's back in the hot seat, 1 win at the last 6 matches, of course. 5 times they've played since 2011, 1 win Rotherham, 3 wins Crawley, 1 draw between the two sides. Last time around, over at Rotherham was a 2-2 draw way back in January 2014. The reverse fixture, a 1-0 win for Crawley back in November. Of course, one of their most important wins. Crawley, though, on the back of that 1-0 win over Bristol Rovers. Rotherham with a 3-2 loss to Wycombe. Goodness gracious me. The odds right here, right now, Rotherham are fancied for the upset or for the win. I think I could go with Crawley now that I know Scott Lindsay is back, but I think realistically Rotherham will win this one no matter what. Into the final 2 is Wigan under Ryan Lowe up against Barnsley under Conor Hoonahane at the moment. Played 17 times in 2003, 9 wins Wigan, 4 wins Barnsley, 4 draws between the two sides. Wigan in 18th right now, 43 points for the season. They've won 2, lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. Barnsley, though, they're winners in the last 4 matches. Their season's about to fall to bits. Last time around over at the DW in the league, it was a 2-0 win for Barnsley back in August 2023. They also played this season in the EFL Cup. Barnsley coming out on top with a penalty shootout back in August, but Wigan winning the reverse fixture at Oakville back in November. Barnsley, though, on the back of that 1-1 draw against Cambridge. Wigan losing to Charlton last time around. The odds right here, right now, going with Wigan. They're hot to trot. They're expected to win this game. I'm going there as well with a 2-1 win with Ryan Lowe in the hot seat. And then finally, it is Wycombe. It is Lincoln. It's coming at the at Adams Park. Mike Dodd's Wycombe currently find themselves 3rd, 71 points for the season. They won 2, lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. Lincoln under Michael Scabula are 12th. Just 1 defeat in the last 4. They've played each other 22 times since 2004. 9 wins Wycombe, 9 wins Wycombe, 7 wins Lincoln, and 6 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Wycombe, it was a 1-1 draw way back in January 2024. The reverse fixture, a 3-2 win for Wycombe at Central Bank back in November 2024. So, just 1 win the last 6 for Wycombe over Lincoln and was the last game. Lincoln, though, picking up a 0-0 draw against Exeter, making back-to-back clean sheets. Wycombe, though, picking up a 3-2 win away to Rotherham. The bookies backing Mike Dodd's boys here for the victory. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win as well. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like at the end of it. Birmingham City red hot to trot Wycombe back into 2nd spot. And, of course, going down is As You Were. That's, of course, my thoughts. Let me know yours and opinions down below. We'll see you soon on the end. Get your predictions in. Until then, we're done.